Hey guys, Camfrey15 back at another video for you guys, back with another episode review of my status as an assassin. Obviously exceeds the hero episode review for you guys as we are continuing on with this great show, and we have kind of a solid episode. Again, another chill episode, nothing too crazy happens, but again, further expanding on this point of Akira making the decision if he wants to kill. And kind of the fact that Crow is trying to say, like, hey man, this dude needs to die. Like, don't you want vengeance for the dude that killed your master? And Soren, at the same time, obviously, you do know, like, this dude is targeting your girlfriend in Amelia. So, like, I think you probably should kill him. And we get a moment where Akira almost thinks about doing it. But, yeah, but anyways, let's get into this episode. So basically, the episode starts off with Crow telling Akira about Graham and the way he kind of gets people to fall under his mercy, and he's got like these crystals or whatever that he implements into them, and by doing it, it not only has them being under his control, but it actually enhances him. And Crow even does say like, even Soren wouldn't be able to overcome that, which is crazy because we know Soren was super strong. But this only convinces Akira like he's gonna have to make that decision to kill, and do that. Now, obviously, because of this, there's some tension going on. So Amelia basically pulls him away and it's like, "Hey, look, let's go do something else and everything, and let's not focus on this because clearly, you can tell that he's obviously bothered by this. He's thinking about it, and Amelia doesn't really want him to kill, right? Now, realistically, we do get the end of the episode moment between the two, right? So yeah, but anyways, the next day essentially happens, and again, Crow is like, so have you made your decision on what you'd like to do, right? But then that's when Leah actually comes in and she actually wants to give them another like city tour, I guess. And she's doing this to kind of make up for the way her father acted towards Akira and then also Amelia. And she does bring up the mention, or she does bring up the moment when obviously the king kind of said that derogatory term to Amelia about like, oh, you're an elf, so why would you get involved with a human? Like, you're gonna live longer than him. And Akira does ask, like, what did he tell you? And she's like, you don't need to worry about it, right? So maybe there is going to be a moment to where like essentially Amelia does tell Akira that, and maybe that's one of her fears, the fact like you are going to, like, I'm going to live longer than you are because I'm an elf and you're a human. And I 100% believe like Akira will say like, look, I don't care, like I'll be with you till it is my time to go, and I know I can trust you, that you'll be okay, right? So you do have that interesting moment, but they kind of go on like a double date because she ends up actually inviting Crow. And we kind of see that she kind of has feelings for him, I'm guessing. Because eventually Amelia is like kind of picking up on that. And then she's like, hey, how about we split up and before we go to this play, we'll all just meet up together again, right? And they're like, okay, sure. And then that's when Amelia was like, "You come on, Akira, you can't be dense. You don't see it." And he's like, "What?" And obviously Amelia's like, you can clearly tell like Leah likes him. And then Akira's like, but wait, isn't this guy like old enough to be like her damn uncle or some shit like that? And obviously, and shockingly, Amelia does actually say it's like, well, in this world, demi-human like characters, they, I guess, in her eyes, I guess shit like that doesn't really matter. I'm guessing. So in a weird way, it is kind of like that type of way, but apparently in this world, Amelia says like, look, in here it's commonplace, so realistically there's no issue. Now, we don't know if that's like between nobles of like humans and things like that, but we do know like medieval times, like essentially like, right, and especially if you do like history and stuff like that, like legitimately in those time periods, right, in some cases family members definitely did hook up with each other, like in the ancient times, right? That was just history there. So I guess that's the case, but all right. It was kind of unique, right? Now their whole point is that the point because they go to this flower field that Crow shows her. Now there were these flowers. She tries to touch him, and he's like, "Don't touch it." He did the shadow, "Don't touch it" moment from Sonic 06 and saying like these are poisonous. Now I don't know if they are poisonous flowers or whatever. And basically, Leah basically kind of tells Crow like, "Hey, like I think it might be better if you actually like had somebody special in your life for once, right?" And essentially, Crow basically is like, "All right, not really because, I'm already down a dark path. I've already done things that aren't warrant of having, love or anything, right?" So, you kind of make it so it kind of does feel like he's brought down by this, I guess the fact that he did do killing and he feels guilty by killing that, it's not good enough for him to go out there and essentially fall in love with somebody. And I think what I'm trying to get is Leah wants to be somebody that he can rely on. She can be there for him in his darkest moments and care for him, right? But Crow is seeing this as a way of like, I've already done the shit that I've done, and because I've done this, I'm already gone down this dark path. So for me, when it comes to love, then sorry, but there's no chance of that happening, right? So I don't know if that is maybe potentially maybe setting something up for Leah to eventually maybe confess her feelings and say like, I don't really care about what you've done. I love you for who you are, and stuff like that. But we'll see. And we kind of do see a little bit about that with Akira and Amelia in that conversation too. Now we do see Laddie and Knight. They're kind of going on their little thing. She's doing her own thing. She doesn't really do much this episode, but I think again it's tying into whatever this whole overarching plot line is. But she's just doing her adventure stuff. Again, it's funny because Laddie is being Laddie, and it's funny because Knight is like, all right, Lady Latinus Nail, and Laddie's just like, don't call me that, just call me Laddie. Like, I gave that as a nickname for myself, and Knight's like, well, yeah, you may have, but your nickname is this. And she's like, no, it's Laddie. So she does her own thing in this episode. I didn't really pay too much attention to it. It was just kind of like what she was doing, and that was realistically it from what we got there. So yeah. But there's that. And then we get the episode ending part where Amelia and Akira are having this conversation. And kind of this conversation about, if he should kill and if he should do this and everything. And it really looks like it gets to the point where like he's actually gonna go through and he's gonna actually like kill somebody. And essentially, Amelia's trying to convince him, like, hey, look, are you sure you want to go through this, right? Because I know that's not you. And obviously, he kind of does get a little bit, does get a little bit testy with the fact of, like, well, I got to do this to avenge, my master. Because this dude, Graham was the reason why he's dead. And he basically kind of tells her, like, look, I don't want you to get involved in this and everything because he wants to keep her safe in his own ways. But that's why Amelia's like, well, that's why I'm training, so then I can be able to fight by you and defend myself, and make sure I'm okay, right? But then it gets to an interesting, and then too, it gets to the point where she are obviously convinced, like, look, if you do that, if you kill, like, I'm gonna be by your side. I would hope you don't do that because that's not within your character. I know you don't want to do it. But if you do it, I'll be there with you, and I'm still gonna love you the same, as is. Just because you kill somebody, it's not gonna change how I feel because you're gonna have your own reasons to want to do that, right? But then Akira does look at like a family and sees like this family of demi-human, children, and then their mother, and then it just reminds him of a moment back with his mom and his sister, and then he basically is just like, yeah, I can't go through with a killing because what if I just do that and then I go back home? It's not gonna make me feel good because I'm gonna be looked at as a murderer. again, excuse me, this guy has guilt. Like, he knows if I kill this guy, it can solve my problems. It can keep Amelia safe. It can keep anybody else safe from this dude. But I'm gonna live with that guilt of taking someone's life because guess what? I'm not the person that should be the judge, right? I should not be the person that is judging whether they live or die. If anything, I should be judging, if they have to serve the time, right? So he just thinking that moment was great because he then realized himself, and I do like that moment. It just goes to show you, like, dude, he has his standards, and again, it's just like the Batman thing. Batman does not kill. He does not kill. And for Akira, he just doesn't want to do that. And again, some viewers who are watching the show are probably just be like, bro, I don't get why he's doing this. Like, he should just kill the dude and get the problem out of his way. But see, if you're in a position where, you have a knife or any sort of weapon to finish somebody off and just end their life, right? I guarantee you, like, you'd be contemplating, you would be thinking and reevaluating your life and just be like, whoa, should I do this? I know this is for a good cause or a good reason to do it. And the positives are, okay, this guy doesn't affect me. I protect my loved ones and yada, yada, yada. But there is a lot of guilt when you kill somebody or if you're going to kill somebody, right? Like, obviously people who are in like gangs and stuff like that and they're crazy people, right? They don't feel that sympathy. They don't feel that guilt because, oh no, I'm doing what I need to do, right? But see, for people, for the regular everyday citizen, you give them a weapon and you have a chance to kill somebody that maybe is even if it is in self-defense, right? Because you're gonna protect somebody, right? And you do kill somebody, that's gonna be weighing heavy in your mind that you took a life. That's gonna be weighing heavy on your mind that, like, I took a life and that person, whoever that person was connected to, their loved ones are not gonna be, they're gonna be mourning that. And I took a life and I got blood on my hands. And for Akira, he feels like it would affect him. And 100% it would affect him. And he does get a moment how he feels like he couldn't face his mom and his sister if he ended up doing that. So I don't know what that means. He's going to take somebody down and maybe somebody else does the killing. I don't know. I could perfectly see it. Maybe if Crow helps him, Crow is the one that's like, all right, if you don't want to do it, then I'll do it for you, right? So there's that. And you do get, now we do cut to the actual real world, the real Akira's world. And apparently, on the news site, it does show, like, okay, in the real world, like, the news mentions, like, the class is being disappeared and gone, right? So clearly in the real world, it is one of those situations like, oh, where did they go? Yada, yada, yada. Or like that, they were gone for like how many years and months and stuff. In the other world, they were isekai, and like almost a god no time passed once they got transported back, right? But clearly you can tell, like, okay, no, this is something that impacts the real world. And we do see his mother and Akira's mother and his sister, and they're kind of just hoping that, at some point he will return to them. So I don't know if that's a sign, but again, like I said, it would be crazy if he does go back home. But this time he also brings Amelia back, and he basically is like, well, mom, sis, this is my wife right here. So, yeah, but again, I'm still of the belief, like, I could definitely see it to where he just stays in this world. His friends from his class go back, right? And they probably go up to it, and he probably tells them, like, hey, go speak with my mom and my sister. Say that I'm okay. I found somebody that I fell in love with, and I would love to come home, but I just can't. I need to stay here, right? So I perfectly could feel like that's how they could end it. Again, I think this series is definitely a longer series than just a one season type of thing. And again, I don't know what the original source material is based off, whether it's a manga or a light novel. So I would have to envision there's more content and stuff like that. But other than that, that's all I got to say for this week's episode. If you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, hit that subscribe button if you want to get more assassins, my status as an assassin content, or any other anime content I upload to the channel and things like that. But till then, guys, stay safe out there and have a great rest of your day or your night or whenever you're trying this video. Till then, guys, peace.